Giuffre's lawyer, Sigrid Mc Cawlee, explains the contents of the Epstein files. Let me get this camera straight. Whoa, whoa, your boy's getting good at this. I'm ready. I hope y'all are. Had a fantastic evening, slept like a baby, got a lot of energy, did about 200 push-ups this morning. Oh yeah, macho madness. Y'all ready? I am. Hope everybody had a fantastic evening. Hope y'all drank some water. Yeah, we got a new one on today. It's ready to go. I'm ready to go too. But guess what? It's not time for that. Y'all know what it's time for, right? Let's see what our guy's gonna do today. Bling, bling, bling. I'm ready to go. Bling, bling, bling. It's time to start the show. Bling, bling, bling. They're ready to go. Bling, bling, bling. Get it right, yo. Bling, bling, bling. We ready to rock. Bling, bling, bling. I think it's 6 o'clock. Bling, bling, bling. Straight up off the top. Bling, bling, bling. It's our bottom line. Anytime you're ready, buddy. Bling, bling, bling. We ready to go. Oh, maybe this side this morning. Bling, bling, bling. Yeah. And y'all see I can stretch my arms out. I got a different jacket on the table. Boy, I feel good. I feel good. I feel much better. Pack it up, pack it in. Let me begin. I came to win. Battle me, that's a sin. I won't never back up. Don't never slack up. Come on, throw your hands up. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Pump that beat. It's Wednesday, August 6th. That's right, y'all. 2025. I'm your host, Bugatti NYC, and this here's our bottom line, where we be talking about this and that, and that, and this, and this, and that, and that, where we be talking about this and that, and that, and this, and this, and that. Just got me lit. That's right, y'all. We made it another day, Wednesday, August the 6th, 2025. I hope everybody had a fantastic evening. Like I always tell you, y'all could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. We are so ready to keep on getting that ball rolling down the road. We're going to do some continuations of stories that we've been running with all week. Let me get to over here and see who's in the building with us. Who we got up in the building this morning? We've got Gonzalez in the building. I see Mark Dorfman up in the building. We got Batty Lynn from Detroit, Michigan in the building. And we've got Rebecca Lon Yan Bueno from Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's right, you guys. Who else we got up in here? I see you, Gonzalez. I see you, Frederick. Right. Good morning. Okay, we got Jennifer up in the building from California. How you doing all the way on the other side? We got some news for you. I'm so glad that you're here. So stay tuned. We got some California news. I see we got OKC, Oklahoma up in the building with our buddy. We got who else up in the building? Arico Frazier from California. And I'm glad you guys all the way on the other side of on the other coast are chiming in here today. It's rather late over there where I say early, but to us, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. It's time to get it right. I got a fully loaded clip. I'm locked and loaded. And like I always tell you guys, y'all could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. I'm ready to get these titles going. I'm ready to feed you guys this information. The only thing I'm going to ask is that you stay on topic. Let me know where you're chiming in from. It'll be real nice to know. Let me know what time it is. Check the clock. I love to know what time it is just to make sure, like, wait a minute, it's 6:30 over there? It's 3:30 over there? That's a little entertaining to me. But without any further ado, guess what I want to do? let's get into these titles. Let's get it going, y'all. Let's get it. We got a really long one this morning. We got a hefty smorgasbord going on over here today. So why not just get into it? What do we have here? We have Trump. Virginia Giuffre's lawyer, Sigrid Mc Cawlee, explains the contents of the Epstein files. That's right, Ghislaine Maxwell, her lawyer, Sigrid Mc Cawlee, basically knows what's in those files. She knows a lot of what's going on in there. And guess what? We got the clip of her explaining what's in there as much as she can say. That's right, you guys. So let's keep on moving forward because, like I said, we have a lot. We also got amusement park. Wait a minute. No, we did that one the other day. We got Mahmoud Khalil of Columbia University will be deported, says the border czar Tom Homan. We're going to keep on moving forward, you guys, because that thumbnail is not right. But you know what we're going to do anyway? We're going to keep on moving forward because the first one is correct and we don't stop over here, even if we make mistakes. You know what? We've been doing this for over 300 episodes. Little things like that I call out no matter what. Made a mistake with the last two topics, but it doesn't matter because it's still in the clip. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to keep on moving because we got to get over here to the president when he was after he signed a new executive order. He takes questions from reporters after he signed that order, right? We played part of this yesterday. We didn't get it all out. I want to get specific parts of this interview out because it's going to go along with what we have going on today, and we got to keep on topic. So without any further ado, let's get to this first clip. Apologize for the mistake on the thumbnail. It's not an end all because we got the show going no matter what. Hope everybody had a fantastic evening. Let's get into it. Let's go.
At first, when I got involved with this issue in my first term, I said to the congressman, they took me up because they wanted to show me the fields where they could farm 10 times more product. You'd see 100
California,
acres, and you'd see 1 acre or 2 acres, beautiful green. It's very vibrant, but they don't give it the water that it's entitled to. And I said, oh, they have a drought? I said, no, they told me we don't have a drought. They don't. The Democrats don't allow the water to come down into the farms and into anywhere. By the time it gets down even into certain parts of California, it's fed out stupidly into the Pacific Ocean. If that water were allowed. So we broke into it and we allowed it to come down and it come down on a higher level. And we want that. And we're demanding that of the governor. The other thing is we'll do anything necessary to keep the Olympics safe, including using our National Guard or military. Okay. No, I will use the National Guard or military. This is going to be so safe. And if we have to, because obviously you have a mayor that is not very competent. She can't get the permits for the people. You know, the people are still waiting for their permits.
This is stupid.
Lee Zeldin got them the federal permit, which is 10 times harder to get.
What's going on?
Everybody can build on the federal basis, and that's the hard one. But the mayor, Bass, she refuses to or cannot get them permits. They're waiting. And I was there right after the fires, and I saw all these beautiful people standing by their homes, ready to get in and get to work.
What's going on, Callie?
They're waiting for their permits, and they're still waiting for their state permits and city permits. It's a disgrace.
I need to ask you guys, you're in California, you're out there right now. He just said this yesterday. Is that true? Are people still waiting for their permits in order to get that debris out of there and to be able to put their homes back up? A lot of the people actually have the money. I think the insurance companies have already paid out. So what's stopping them? If he said that all of the permits on the federal level have been cleared out from with Lee Zeldin, what's going on with Bass, y'all? What's going on out there? All right, what we got going on? Absolutely. Good morning. Who's really the Mexican? Okay, what we got? Good morning. Okay, y'all not staying on topic. I'm gonna keep on going. We got the situation now. What's next with the fate of Obama during this Russiagate? I'm just gonna tell you guys straight up and down. When they do certain things, when it has to do with criminal acts, when it's under their presidency, we already know that they're covered. So Obama's not going to get in any trouble when it comes down to this Russiagate situation. But I still want to break it down for you guys because there's a lot. I don't want to just jump into the main stories like everybody wants us to. We got to run this news down because this other news is important as well.
The Department of Justice is launching, as you know,
Yes.
a grand jury investigation into the Russia hoax and the allegations surrounding the Russia hoax. Look, it's taken a long time, but you think that we may eventually see some accountability for those who spread all those lies all those years ago?
Well, we got to start with who is going to be held accountable. And everybody wants to know if President Obama is going to be held accountable. Well, no, the grand jury that is being convened is not going to indict President Obama. And if they did, it would get thrown out based upon presidential immunity, which Donald J. Trump fought for and basically won at the Supreme Court. So let's move past that. The next question is, who is next up? And we've gone over the names, Clapper, Brennan, Comey. The key thing is, if you're trying to prove a conspiracy, you need to show to the grand jury, based upon stuff that, quite frankly, Stu, we haven't seen. We've seen a lot, but we probably haven't seen everything. You're going to have to establish to that grand jury that these folks knew X was true and they conspired to do Y. And that's going to be the key. You're also going to be able to potentially get them on perjuring themselves in front of Congress. A lot of stuff is going to be in front of that grand jury. We'll see where it goes.
See, the thing about this is once it happens and the years go by and the bigger stories come out, people forget about it. And if it doesn't pertain to you, you really don't care. So the problem with that is a lot of stuff gets thrown out, overseen. But no, I don't want to look at it like that because things happen as far as like, you know, people don't want to do business with you anymore. They think something is wrong with you. So guess what the president said? President Trump said that banks had discriminated against him after he was president. Check this out.
Like you were going to have a meeting and people were talking about it with President Xi, and then you went out of your way to kind of say other people are saying, I think you even called it fake news or something. It looked like you were indicating that you were unhappy or that talks had broken down. And we've had a couple of frameworks or some positive moves. And you know, China, you've had a lot of success with other countries. China is a big deal and a big, not quite the elephant in the room, but certainly an important trading partner. Where does that stand? Will there be a meeting between you and President Xi? Anything planned at this point? What's the sticking point now, and how optimistic are you that we get a comprehensive
Well, I can have
deal?
a meeting. We have a very good relationship, but I didn't call for the meeting. He called for the meeting. So the fake news announced Donald Trump wants a meeting with China. No, I didn't want it. No, he asked for a meeting, and I'll end up having a meeting before the end of the year, most likely, if we make a deal. If we don't make a deal, I'm not going to have a meeting. I mean, you know, what's the purpose of meeting if we're not going to make a deal? But we're getting very close to a deal. We're getting along with China very well. I will tell you, you know, you had a point when I had 145% tariffs on. I put in for fentanyl. I actually said to people, where are we now with China, by the way? Because I kept adding more and more. They said, sir, you're up to 145%. I said, you got to be kidding. So I sort of tried to bring it down a little bit. But when it was up to 145%, meaning we were doing zero business with China, China was collapsing. I don't know if you know that. You haven't reported it if you do. But China was collapsing. China is very reliant on the United States. My relationship with him is very good. I think we'll make a good deal. It's not imperative, but I think we're going to make a good deal. But no, they had a thing that Donald Trump really wanted to go there. No, I don't. It's a 19-hour flight. It's a long flight. But at some point in the not-too-distant future, I will. And just to end this conversation in China, I have a very good relationship with President Xi. Always had, other than the COVID moment where I was very angry with him and essentially didn't want to talk to him, frankly, because, you know, it did come out of Wuhan, in all fairness, which I was saying from the day one. I was saying I knew exactly where it came from. But that did interfere with the relationship. But no, I've had a great relationship with President Xi. We respect him a lot. They respect us a lot. They didn't respect Biden. They thought he was a numbskull. They couldn't believe he was the president of the United States, and neither can anyone else, but that happened.
Mr. President, on a different topic, the Wall Street Journal is reporting that you're prepping an order that they say would punish banks that discriminate against conservatives, including potentially Bank of America. I'm going to be actually talking to Brian Moynihan here later today. Can you tell us about that executive order? What's in that? And what do you think the banks have done?
Well, they did discriminate. I had J.P. Morgan Chase. I had hundreds of millions of dollars in cash. I could see if they want to, if they want to do something bad because you don't have any money and you're defaulted and they took people out. But I'll give you me as an example. I had hundreds of millions. I had many, many accounts loaded up with cash.
Wow.
I was loaded up with cash. And they told me, I'm sorry, sir, we can't have you. You have 20 days to get out. I said, you got to be kidding. I've been with you for 35, 40 years.
Wow.
They said, and I mean, I had all this, I didn't know what to do with it. And I went to, and you could ask him, maybe he's not going to admit it. So I said, I was informed by my people that we have to get out of Chase Manhattan. That's Jamie and JP Morgan Chase. So I said, I can't believe it. Well, I was never in this situation before.
So he's basically saying different things that affected him through the Russiagate situation. We got Comer here. You know who Comer is, right? Comer's basically issuing subpoenas for the Epstein files, as well as he named specific individuals who'll be receiving them. And Clintons are basically in this deposition. That's right, y'all. All of the stuff that we've been looking at, everything that had to do with these files, everything leading up to now, yep, it's coming out.
House Oversight Chairman James Comer has
hold up. I like this noise right here. Let's do it that way.
News. House Oversight Chairman James Comer has just issued subpoenas in the Jeffrey Epstein case. Chairman Comer sent one subpoena to the Department of Justice for the complete Epstein files and more for depositions from former officials. Those officials include former attorneys general Bill Barr, Loretta Lynch, Eric Holder, and Merrick Garland. Also, former FBI directors Robert Mueller and James Comey, and both of these people now, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and her husband, former President Bill Clinton. We'll keep you posted as those subpoenas are served and actions taken. Hey, everyone.
We got to keep on moving. That was a little teaser right there for you guys. We got a whole lot in the deck coming up on this Epstein situation. Don't go nowhere. Double tap that screen, get those likes up, because now we got justice is coming for Mike Davis. He weighs in the Department of Justice for the Russiagate investigation. Come on, y'all. We got to pay attention a little bit to this Russiagate stuff. I know y'all don't want to do it. I know where y'all want to go.
Here to dissect the seismic development is Mike Davis, founder of the Article 3 Project. Mike, before we get into what the Democrats are saying about this, I want to walk through the process here. Who would be your first witness before this grand jury?
Well, I don't know if they're going to participate. They'll probably claim the Fifth Amendment, but you'd have someone like Brennan, Clapper, Comey. There are a lot of people. Hillary Clinton's campaign, Hillary herself. There is evidence that a lot of President Obama's top officials, maybe even President Obama himself politicized and weaponized law enforcement and intel agencies to harm President Trump's campaign and help Hillary Clinton's campaign. And they continued this conspiracy to this day. They hobbled his presidency and they have continued this conspiracy. So now, there are a lot of potential witnesses.
Now, CNN has a big story tonight, essentially saying what Rich Edson just related, that nothing that was released by Gabbard in these documents indicate anything contrary to the idea that Russia was trying to help Donald Trump and hurt Hillary Clinton. That's what they're maintaining throughout this entire thing, basically shrugging off the DNI as just, this is just political hot air to try to help Trump now.
But what I also heard was they did have information on Hillary Clinton about her aggravation, her attitude, the way she was taking D-rugs to calm her down, but they were keeping that information for after if she had won. I did hear about that. Let's keep on moving forward. We got to go on over to Tennessee. Whoever's in Tennessee, come to the front of the stage, because we got this quadruple Ilsnerder that I'm not going to say that word. The suspect has been captured and arrested. Pretty young situation, pretty young guy right here. I can't believe this situation happened. Feel terrible for the people that lost their lives. Let's get into this, you guys. Let's go.
Now, an update in the Tennessee manhunt. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation tweeting just moments ago, captured Tennessee most wanted fugitive Austin Drummond is now in law enforcement custody after having been caught in Jackson. Steve Harrigan has the latest on this breaking news. Good morning, Steve.
Morning, Dana. This is a 7-day manhunt that just now has come to an end. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation confirming that they have caught Austin Drummond. This is a man who's accused of killing 4 people in Tennessee. The case got a tremendous amount of attention because not only is he accused of murdering 4 members of a family, but also abducting, kidnapping, and then leaving a 7-month-old baby girl in a car seat on the lawn of a random house 40 miles away from those bodies. We've seen recent video of Drummond on door cameras. He's often seen carrying a weapon and was carrying a large amount of ammunition as well. He has a very violent history. Just 28 years old, he's already spent more than a decade in jail. He threatened to kill the jurors in his trial, and yet somehow he was out on bond during the time of these murders. One district attorney who spoke to us from Tennessee said, this is a person who is simply not capable of living in society. Well, he's not going to be in society for any time soon if these murder charges go through. Wound up killing 4 parents of the young girl, the uncle, and the grandmother. A targeted killing. Now, Tennessee authorities say they've got their man after a 7-day hunt. Dana, back to you.
All right, thank you so much, and we'll have more on that as that story develops.
Got him, and you know we gonna keep up with the story of this lunatic that hurt that entire family. Such a horrific, tragic situation. You guys want to definitely pray for the families as well as the friends and the souls of all of those who lost their lives. Want to ask that they have strength and resolve throughout this terrible situation, and we ask this in Jesus' name, amen. We got to keep on moving forward because now we got these Texas Democrats that face calls for removal after leaving the state over the redistricting vote. Let's get into this, you guys. And you know who's spearheading this, right? No other than your favorite person. Yep, Jasmine Crockett.
This is Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Congresswoman, thank you so much as always for joining us. Governor Abbott just announced that he has ordered the Texas Department of Public Safety to find and arrest the House Democrats who have fled the state. You're in the Chicago area with some of those Democratic representatives. What's the plan with them? Obviously,
she's shaking her head back and forth, but they went to Chicago. Yeah, that sounds cool.
At some point, you have to return to the state of Texas eventually. So ultimately, does it seem that it's a foregone conclusion that this bill will pass?
They're on the run, y'all.
I don't say ultimately. I never say ultimately because I don't have a give up attitude whatsoever. But right now, the governor has decided that he wants to waste more of Texans' resources by deciding that he's going to send out the troopers. And listen, I don't even think that he's going to do that. I think he's just talking. Earlier today, I posted a copy of the warrant that was signed by the speaker because it's the speaker of the House that can put the call on the House, not the governor.
Remember she said that, right? Remember she said that, right?
And no one came to get me last time. In fact, it is a cute little warrant that has a cute little frame on it. And so they like to talk a big game, but the reality is that number one, you have a lot of intelligent attorneys that actually serve in the Texas House. And so they know that there's nothing that he can do outside of the Texas jurisdiction to bring them in. This is one of the reasons they are in another state.
Somebody said you can run, but you can't hide. Jasmine better give up on chasing Trump, says motherfucking Bone. No, Janine, she ain't never in Texas. She don't care about the people she serves. She all about clicks. You see how she be doing her hair, being all that, with all that whatever stuff. She just like the power. I can tell what Jasmine is about. She likes the power. She loves to be looked at. Come on, no person in government dresses the way she does. She got the lace front and all that on. Hiya! Damn you! You took my hair. Where'd you get my hair from? That's the same thing that the guys in the karate flicks used to wear, just so you guys know. The lace front wig originated from those are lace front wigs. Yes, go look at the old karate flick. Damn you, son, you killed my master. I will avenge him. Hi. Yes, look at the hair, same type of lace front.
His authority does not extend throughout the entirety of the United States. So he's just talking the big talk so that, you know, he can rile up his base. Ultimately, what will happen, we don't know. I know that we've been in litigation since 2021 over the current maps. I am one of the plaintiffs in that case, and I do know that the state the entire time has taken the position that they issued maps that were race neutral. And then all of a sudden, once they got a letter from the DOJ that talked about race, they somehow flipped the script and they decided that they wanted to do new maps, seemingly at their prompting. So now they're kind of dancing around their position, and now it seems like they're going to flip positions.
You've said that the new maps do nothing but divide, distract, and depress. What's your understanding of how your district will change if these maps do pass?
See, I give everybody their word. I let everybody talk.
What they did is they did a thing that we call, they packed my district up, and then they cracked minorities from another community. And so what they did is they've increased the number of African Americans in my district. But while they were cracking out persons from another community and packing them into my community, they also removed all the economic engines, which is yet another red flag. This means that I don't have Southwest Airlines or JSX Airlines or Dallas Love Airport or Downtown or AT&T or Goldman Sachs, and the list goes on.
We got to keep on going, Jasmine. Okay, we got more information on this coming forward because I wanted you guys to remember what she said. Governor Abbott can't call out the warrant for the only somebody else can, right? The leader of the House. Let's keep on going right now. We're going to break this all up right now. I want you to look at something pretty crazy. Yesterday, we went into Miley Cyrus when she was talking about the way that she was hiding her D-rug buying, and basically she said that she was buying like expensive shirts and things like that. Like her accountant would say to her, "Where is that John Lennon vintage T-shirt that you bought for $15,000?" Right? I want you guys to look at a little bit of how she was acting during this time right here. I am not understanding this sort of stage performance. I thought it was pretty raunchy, but hey, I still wanted you guys to see it. Hopefully, no kids are watching, because this is pretty crazy. Don't get mad at me. I'm just a reporter reporting on a follow-up of the story that we started yesterday. Let's go. So now we're going to turn the music off because I'm not trying to get in trouble with that. But she's wearing something pretty crazy. People's hands are pretty close to a specific area. Do you guys see where I'm going with this? And people touching on her, stuff like that. Looks like sort of a strip club situation going on, right? The good thing is we saw yesterday that she's no longer going through things like this, and this is where she came from, hiding the money, talking about that John Lennon vintage T-shirt that she basically was hiding from her accountant. Pretty crazy. So Miley, good move, girl. Good that you're not doing things like this anymore, because that's pretty raunchy and pretty crazy. We have an entertainment section that we have to cover, you guys. I apologize for that, because guess what? There's still people that want to see it. So we got to keep on moving forward. Let's get right back on over to Texas, because guess what? Governor Abbott has now ordered an arrest for the AWOL Democrats after the warrant has been issued by the House Speaker. Let's keep on going. Y'all, I told y'all, your boy don't be playing. I make sure I stack this deck and get this information right. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's go.
The very latest from Austin is Texas Governor Greg Abbott.
Because Jasmine spoke. Let Greg
Anyway,
speak.
here with breaking news, the very latest from Austin is Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Governor, when I looked, I have a whole sheet here of every single Democratic state, and it's just like the examples I put up there. They have gerrymandered their states left, right, sideways. They're saying, well, they're gonna do to their states what you're doing in Texas. They already did it in all of these blue states. Frankly, Republicans should have caught up a long time ago.
True. And I'm not a Republican.
Sean, first of all, Texas is doing what we are allowed to by the law. And one reason why that law exists the way that it does is because the Democrats brought a lawsuit after our last redistricting, and that decision in that lawsuit came out last year. And that lawsuit recognized that coalition districts are not required. And so Texas has a right to redraw these lines to fully represent the desires of every voter in the state. But Sean, that misses the point here. The point here is that Democrats have done something that's very un-Texan. They've turned their backs on their fellow Texans. When it came to a fight, they turned and ran away, not just from this redistricting fight, they ran away from dealing with the flooding issues that are still echoing across the Kerrville area. Families desperately need results from the state legislature in this 30-day special session that are not going to be delivered because Democrats are hanging out in Chicago and New York and other places.
Yeah. All right. Let me run through the states. California, Republicans, 39% of the House vote, but they only have 17% of the seats. Connecticut, Republicans, 40% of the House vote, 0 seats, none, zip. Illinois, 2024, Republicans, they got a pretty respectable 47% of the statewide vote, 18% of House seats. Maryland, one of the bluest states, Trump gets 35%, but they only have 12% of House seats. Massachusetts, again, 0 House seats. Nevada is even worse. Republicans win the state. They won the state House by 10 points, walked away with 1 single House seat in the entire state. That's it. So this has been the practice of these states for the longest period of time. Now they want to attack you, and I'm thinking, okay, what you're doing is exactly what they did.
Well, and not even that, Sean. To be honest, the Texas maps are not going to be as extreme as those other blue states that you talked about. But another thing, and that is what Texas is doing under these new maps. 4 of the 5 new seats will be a majority Hispanic seats. One of the seats is going to restore the Barbara Jordan seat over in the Houston area. And so these are seats where Democrats are having to come to grips with the reality. And that is, they are now losing the votes of Hispanics and Black voters in the state of Texas. And these districts are going to show that Hispanics and Blacks, as well as others, are voting for Republican, and Republican is their candidate of choice. And we will ensure that will be achieved at the congressional level in the state of Texas.
The thing about it is a lot of times it's not about the Republican, Democrat, or independent or whatever. It's about what you're fighting for. It's about the mission. It's about if your common goal aligns with the person's goal. You might have something that you're going for, right? And the person doesn't like you personally, but they'll still deal with you because of your goals and what you're about. So can't say that I'm not. I don't understand. I understand what's going on there. I actually do. I think they got it going on right there. And I'm not mad at them. But I wanted you guys to see both sides of that coin. Let's go to Trump's mega bill because it's expected to cost $1 trillion according to the CBO estimates. Yes, we got a new bill that's coming in. It's going to be 10 years of this bill. Should we still deal with it after the fact when Trump's gone? Because we're going to have to.
Because the Congressional Budget Office now estimates that President Trump's mega bill will add more than $4 trillion to the national debt over the next decade, some $700 billion more than previously projected. The CBO director sent the updated analysis to ranking member of the Senate Budget Committee, that's Democratic Senator Jeff Merkley of Oregon, yesterday, writing that because the bill's red ink is not offset by more spending cuts or new revenue, the legislation will drive up borrowing costs, even for the federal government. Republican lawmakers largely dismissed the office's warnings in the days before clearing the bill for Trump's signature, arguing the legislation would boost the economy more than forecasters predicted. And the impact of that is being felt at town halls, including this one from Republican Congressman Mike Flood of Nebraska, who faced a tough crowd at a town hall event last night. Flood represents a safely red district, but last night constituents grilled him over the Trump administration's immigration policies, Medicaid cuts, and much more.
Yeah, we got that coming up. We got that. Thank you. Just wanted you to get into that mega bill, how much it was, what's going on with it, and the feedback. What do you guys think about that? Can we sustain, if we got the economy, there's money being made, but we owe all of this money. So that's how they look at it. Well, you know, we're going to owe this debt, but there's money being made. So we'll be able to pay the debt. And the more money we make, we'll be able to pay the debt back faster. Does that make sense to you guys? I look at it like this. If you're concentrating on paying the debt and not constantly letting the interest accrue and accrue and accrue like you normally do when people don't pay attention to their debts like credit cards. Keep on moving forward now because we got a situation in New York where a judge denies. He got denied, y'all. That's right. Sean Diddy Combs was denied his bail request ahead of his October 3rd sentencing. I guess the judge is like, look, man, you're about to be sentenced anyway. Sit down for a minute. You're not going nowhere. Even though he's offering a lot, he wants to get out.
Some breaking news, just as we've been on the air, with a judge in literally the last maybe 10 minutes denying Diddy's motion for bail, meaning Sean Combs is going to stay behind bars until his sentencing in 2 months from now. Let me bring in Yasmin Vasugian, who's covering this story for us. Yas, we're going to get to all of this, but let's start with this ruling that just came in.
Yeah.
Do we know anything else? What else can you tell us?
Yeah, so essentially what we're learning from this judge, I mean, it's some of the same reasoning that we heard with the initial ruling when the defense also asked for instance, him to be released on $50 billion bail, in which case they're saying essentially that he failed to provide burden of proof as to why he should be released on this $50 million bail. Also, citing his previous criminal background along with being a potential danger to society. So
I don't think it's necessarily a surprise, Hal, that this denial came in, that in fact Sean Diddy Combs at this point will have to wait inside that prison in Brooklyn until his sentencing on October 3rd. But nonetheless, I also think that amidst all of this, it is incredibly likely that his defense attorneys will pursue other avenues in which they'll seek to have bail granted on his behalf and leading up to October 3rd.
What about this other piece of information we learned about today? This letter from Diddy's ex-girlfriend, somebody who I guess had initially been part of the case against Sean Combs, who now is basically writing or was writing in his defense. What's going on here?
So she was seen as victim number 3, or cited as victim number 3 by the prosecution, and she was set to testify on behalf of the prosecution initially going into the trial, and then she kind of goes to the prosecution, literally, in that they said in court, stated in court, that she was supposed to testify. However, they had tried to remain in contact with her and had not necessarily heard back. I would also reiterate that she had given an interview to a podcast in 2019, I believe, in which she said and cited that Sean Diddy Combs had repeatedly stomped on her chest.
Who are they talking about? Is that Young Miami or somebody?
His former assistant testified in court as well that
who are they talking about, y'all?
Witnessed Sean Diddy Combs throwing apples at her. She dated Sean Diddy Combs for multiple years, on and off, throughout the time in which he dated Cassie Ventura as well. But nonetheless, she is now writing this letter to help the defense, in which she's citing, "I'm writing because I do not view Mr. Combs as a danger to me or to the community. This is his first criminal case. Throughout the investigation and proceedings, he has been cooperative, respectful, and compliant." But obviously, this time around, Hal, it has not worked.
They try to say he's been respectful, compliant, and this is the only cases that he got. But yeah, look at the cases and look at all the evidence. Woo! That's why they're being hard on him right now. I think that they should be the same way on Ghislaine. I mean, like, why they being so rough on Diddy when they're not being the same way on Maxwell when they know that she's already been convicted? That's pretty crazy. Let's get on over to this Purdue student who's been released from ICE custody. There was a lot of people that put up a big fight. It's still not over, and she's not out of the woods yet. I actually agree with this release. I think that this person was wrong, though, because at the end of the story, it does tell why she got arrested. People need to stop ignoring when a judge tells you got to leave.
We begin tonight with that Purdue student's immigration case now making national headlines. Good evening, I'm Dustin Groven for Scott Swan. In just the last couple of hours, we confirmed that student is now out of ICE custody. But this all began more than 48 hours ago at a hearing in New York. A lot of twists and turns here. Our Alex Almanza has been digging into what happened and what is next. Alex?
Dustin, just days ago, Yansu Go was hundreds of miles from campus in federal detention. But tonight, she's back with her family. But the government's case against her isn't over.
Calls to release Yansu Go, or Sue, have turned into celebration as the Purdue student previously detained by ICE agents is now free. A lawyer close to the case says it began when she was applying to convert her R2 visa, a visa for the children of religious workers, into a student visa so she could continue her studies at Purdue. At a routine court hearing last week, they set a new October court date. Then she walked outside where ICE agents were waiting. She spent 48 hours in custody, held first in New York, then in Louisiana.
We are overjoyed. We've worked very hard for our voices to be heard and to lift her up and to convey the message that Sue does not deserve to be in detention, and it's been heard.
New photos now show the moment Go was reunited with her family, embracing her mother, known as a beloved Episcopal priest in New York. Sources tell 13 News she was released on her own recognizance, meaning she's free while her case continues. The Department of Homeland Security says Go overstayed a visa that expired more than 2 years ago. But her family says her visa doesn't expire until December, and that's why her supporters say she shouldn't have been detained in the first place.
It was very confusing for her mother, and for those of us at the Episcopal Diocese of New York who have been supporting her.
Yeah, you're 2 years over and 5 years to the deadline. So that's probably why they use that to get to you. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys, because I know what y'all want to get to, and let's go there. We got some information now that we got some new updated information on what the Jeffrey Epstein case, the overall situation that we have going on right now. Let's get into it right now. We got a situation where the Clintons, that's right, the Clintons have now been subpoenaed in a House oversights in the Jeffrey Epstein probe. That's right, y'all. The both of the Clintons have now been subpoenaed in oversight.
To some breaking news regarding the entire case against Jeffrey Epstein. Take a look at this. A post on X from the Associated Press. Breaking, the House Oversight Panel issues subpoenas for Jeffrey Epstein files and depositions with Bill Clinton and other former officials. Continuing on with some more of that breaking news reporting as I bring up some footage here of the late and disgraced financier here, Jeffrey Epstein. So the Republican-controlled committee also issued subpoenas there and depositions for 8 former top law enforcement officials, including their former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. The committee's actions show how even with lawmakers away from Washington on a month-long break, interest in the Epstein files is still running high. President Trump has repeatedly tried to move past the Justice Department's decision not to release a full accounting of the investigation. But lawmakers from both major political parties, as well as many in the Republican president's political base, have refused to let it go. Since Epstein's 2019 death in the New York City jail cell as he awaited trial for sex trafficking charges, conservative conspiracists have stoked theories about what information investigators gathered on Epstein. Now, Republican lawmakers on the House Oversight Committee nodded to that line of questioning last month by initiating the subpoenas for the Clintons, both Democrats, as well as demanding all communications between President Biden's Democratic administration and the Justice Department regarding Epstein. The committee is also demanding interviews under oath from former attorneys general spanning the last 3 presidential administrations. It was Democrats, however, though, who sparked the move to subpoena the Justice Department for its files on Epstein. They were joined by some Republicans to successfully initiate the subpoena through a subcommittee of the House Oversight Committee. That committee had previously issued a subpoena for an interview with Ghislaine Maxwell, that's Epstein's former girlfriend, who had been serving a prison sentence in Florida for luring teenage girls to be sexually abused by the wealthy financier, but it was recently transferred to a Texas facility. However, the committee's Republican chairman, Representative James Comer, has indicated he is willing to delay that deposition until after the Supreme Court decides whether to hear an appeal for her conviction. Maxwell argues she was wrongfully prosecuted.
No,
Speaking of Representative Comer, taking a look here, also a post on X, in which he details everyone that has been subpoenaed by the House Oversight Committee there.
We got breaking. The House Oversight Committee is compelling the following individuals to appear for dispositions throughout issued subpoenas. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. October 9th, former President Bill Clinton. October 14th, former U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland. October 2nd, former FBI Director James Comey. October 7th, again, former U.S. Attorney General William Barr. Yes, and we also got August the 18th, former U.S. Attorney General Alberto Gonzalez. The 26th, we got General Jeff Sessions. On the 28th, they want Robert Mueller. On the September 2nd, they want the former U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch. And on the 9th, they're asking for Eric Holder to come in on, they said September the 30th. We're going to keep on moving forward, you guys, because we're going to stack this deck. We got a lot coming forward when it comes down to this Jeffrey Epstein information. Do me a favor, double tap that screen if y'all appreciate the content. We're about to get into some research, much more. This GOP rep was asked why he covered up the Epstein files in this town hall. It was talked about in the preceding clip, but I wanted to give you guys everything on it.
Levine joins us now. He's also the author of The Spider Inside the Criminal Web of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And also with me, as you can see, Gretchen Carlson, journalist who is also the co-founder of Lift Our Voices. So thanks so much to both of you. Gretchen, I have to start with you because just as Congressman Garcia and I were talking, these town halls are going on around the country where, Congress people have gone home. There's a town hall going on right now with Republican Congressman Mike Flood. He's from Nebraska. And he just got questioned about the Epstein case. So this is ongoing right now. I just want to play an exchange that just happened.
That's what I want to make sure I see.
Why are you covering up the Epstein files?
let's be very clear. At the next pro forma session of the Congress, you'll find my name as a sponsor on a resolution from the House Rules Committee to release the Epstein files, to protect the victims and not re-victimize them again. I support Jamie Comer, who is the House's Oversight Committee Chairman, subpoenaing Ms. Maxwell later this month to come testify in Washington. I am for the release of those records.
Gretchen, it's the way he said it at the end. I am for the right period after every single word. He wants to be heard loud and clear here. And getting the question the way he got it at this town hall. How serious of an issue?
Nope, don't want to know your opinion. We're going to go over to Trump right now, who flipped out on Charlemagne the God for talking crap about him or saying that the God of breakfast. You know who Charlemagne the God is? So basically, he had some words for President Trump. We like to get stuff from the horse's mouth. We don't want to hear about what you feel. I feel for you. Yeah, it's your feelings, whatever like that. We want to know the truth. So let's get some information straight from the horse's mouth. Because Trump really went off on Charlemagne the God of the Breakfast Club after his Epstein comments.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Empress Radio. So I want to talk about Donald Trump. Has no idea what words are coming out of his mouth and knows success put racist. So this is what Donald Trump said. The very wonderful and talented Laura Trump, whose show is a big rating success, put racist sleazebag Charlemagne the God. Why is he allowed to use the word God when describing himself? Can anyone imagine the uproar there would be if I used that nickname? He's a low IQ individual, has no idea what words are coming out of his mouth, and knows nothing about me or what I've done, like just ending 5 wars, including a 31-year bloodbath between Republic of the Congo and Rwanda, where 7 million people have been unalived and there was no end in sight. He didn't know that or India and Pakistan, or wiping out Iran's nuclear capabilities, or closing the horrendous, he did not wipe anyone, or closing the horrendous open border, or creating the greatest economy where prices and inflation. Come on.
We want to give her credit. This is, what's her name, for entertainment purposes, the Empress Show. I didn't want to read all that. We're going to get, that's enough right there. Basically, he's trying to say that Charlemagne the God had the nerve to talk badly about him when, how dare you call yourself a god? Just basically back and forth on the radio gabble. Charlemagne has had a lot of tension when it comes down to politics, back and forth for a number of years. You guys know what I'm talking about. We're going to keep on moving forward because now what we got Trump's name has been found in the Epstein files. Okay, shocking information that you guys might get surprised about. Yes, we already knew about it. I like to go right to it. Let's pick the scab off this sucker right here. Let's go.
The FBI redacted Trump's name from the Epstein files. The FBI redacted Trump's name from the Epstein files. We had learned that his name was very likely in those files, and we also know that the Trump administration asked the FBI to do a search of his name in the files. We now know that his name was redacted. The Attorney General could do what she said she was going to do and just release them on her own. You should be releasing them, but for goodness sakes, why not at least send a directive saying don't destroy the evidence?
So there's a lot going on with the U.S. Senate right now. They're calling him out. They're basically saying that his name is inside of the files. And also, his name has been removed by the FBI, is what Chris Van Hollen is saying. Also, yeah, let's let you say it.
Described, I think, all the inappropriate actions that have been taken by the Justice Department, including recently with respect to the Deputy Attorney General, who had been Donald Trump's personal lawyer, conducting the secret interview with the Epstein associate Maxwell. And this is an important conversation to continue here on the Senate floor. We were here earlier this morning where we discussed the very, very troubling and disturbing case of Jeffrey Epstein and the horrifying abuse of young women and girls. Those who were so terribly abused and treated deserve to have the full truth. They deserve to have all the facts come out, as do their loved ones, as do the American people. So the American people can have some kind of confidence that the Department of Justice is presenting the American people with the truth, because we need transparency in order to ensure full accountability. It used to be the case that Donald Trump and his Attorney General, Pam Bondi, and others in this administration said they wanted to get to the bottom of it. In fact, they said they wanted to release the Epstein files. But as we got closer to actually doing that, they suddenly decided that they did not want the public to know, and that they didn't want Epstein's victims to know.
Also, what I'm really standing strong on, I think that the victims' names, of course, need to be redacted, as well as their contact information, whoever they are, and then, of course, let those files out. As far as anybody's name being covered up or them trying to, I don't know anything about that. But guess what we do over here? We try to be fair. We play both sides of the coin. If it's said, we're going to let it play out. Okay, you guys, what y'all got for me? Why send Maxwell to a camp? What's next? Okay, oh dear. What else we got? Julian who? Remove Julian, please. Okay, Julian, what you doing, Julian? Somebody, VIP auction group. VIP auction group. Is it time to get Julian out of here? VIP is a sniper. Y'all done messed around. VIP is up in here. What's up, VIP? Let me know if I got to get rid of Julian or VIP. Now we're gonna keep on moving forward because we got Virginia Giuffre's lawyer who explains the content of these Epstein files. I'm about to turn around and see what VIP's saying because they don't know we got a sniper up in here right now. You playing with the wrong person.
No, it shows a tremendous amount of information that the public does not know. It shows who was in his sphere at the time, who he was paying, who was paying
Casey.
him.
Thank you for joining us on Newsnight tonight.
Thank you for having me.
What do you make of what the Democrats have done today, this tactic of trying to force the administration to publish these files?
Okay.
Well, it's really an exceptional move. I mean, I think this entire time, certainly on behalf of the survivors, they have been hoping for disclosure of this information. So now we're seeing this inter-struggle in the government where both sides are fighting for some different things. And ultimately, what we're hopeful for is that we will see more disclosure of the information underlying this over 20-year running sex trafficking operation.
But do you think this tactic the Democrats are employing today, this legislation that allows 5 senators to demand a document be published, do you think that could work?
I do think it can work. And what it does is it opens up more information than simply what the Trump administration is asking for with the unsealing of the grand jury testimony. So what the Democrats are asking for now would open up the all of the files, all of the underlying government information from the investigations dating clear back to 2006 forward. So that's really an abundance of information that could flow out to the public if they're successful.
But isn't it likely that actually it will go to court first and we'll see another protracted legal battle rather than on this deadline of August the 15th that Chuck Schumer set today, that there'll be a deluge of documents? Actually, there'll just be a deluge of more court cases.
Oftentimes, of course, litigation can happen. We have a case going on right now on behalf of Virginia Giuffre, where we're seeking the unsealing of many documents from her case, and that has extended for many years. We recently got a success before the Second Circuit, but again, it has taken a tremendous amount of time to disclose that information. So I'm hopeful with this new move that we will see some, faster traction, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Do you think it could be realistically this year, or do you think we'll have to wait more years?
I think we'll certainly see something this year. I mean, you have both sides of the government pushing for different things. So I think we will see some disclosures coming up. And certainly in those for example, the other civil case, I think we will see some disclosures. I mean, the public is demanding answers. So the government is going to have to answer to them. So I do think things will start to move a little bit swifter.
I mean, the public might want to see the answers, but actually there are laws that protect people's privacy and people's reputations. Do you not think maybe sometimes the public have to be told, no, you don't have a right to know that?
Well, there's certainly a balance there. And of course, on behalf of the survivors, we have dedicated a significant amount of time trying to ensure that their information is protected. But underlying that, to have a full closure of this information is really a travesty of justice because it's hiding the perpetrators of these crimes. So
Again, this is Virginia Giuffre's lawyer, the lady that was one of the main victims that was championing the incarceration and the arrest of Jeffrey Epstein as well as Ghislaine Maxwell. She's no longer with us, you guys. She committed suicide a couple of weeks ago. That's why this is one of the last people that actually heard it directly from her. And what she's saying is very important. Let's keep going, y'all.
information does need to get disclosed.
I mean, Sigrid, no one knows this case better than you. What's your understanding of what these so-called Epstein files actually are? What could they be?
They have a tremendous amount of information in them. For example, it shows who was in his sphere at the time, who he was paying him, email traffic, who he was emailing with regularly, and about what. I mean, they have a tremendous amount of information at their fingertips that really tells the story of how he operated for so many years successfully without being put in prison.
For instance, perfect example, when the FBI raided Jeffrey Epstein's house, he had a safe. On another note, somebody said that one day Jeffrey Epstein said, hold on a minute, and he walked inside of his safe. And he came out of that safe and he spread out 6 Polaroids. All 6 Polaroids had Bill Clinton in them. Was he storing more images? Did he have more people's information in there? What's in that safe? We also followed up and we had drone information a few days after that where we saw the drones going right to the window where they were in front of the safe. What did they take out of that? Keep on going.
I mean, don't we kind of know that already?
We know some of that. I mean, we know some of that, but we don't know all of the who, what, why, where, when, right? And that's the reason why, most recently, the government has taken this action because there is a tremendous amount of information that the public does not know. So certainly I, as a litigant in those cases where there were protective orders, know a lot of information, but that has not been disclosed to the public. So
See?
This is the one way
She
that the public can
knows.
actually have a full understanding of who was involved, what happened, why it happened, all of those things.
Can you imagine a situation, though, where the documents are suppressed, but you presumably had access to them? You could put that information out there and just argue that it's in the public interest.
Well, really, in the United States, we're obviously restricted by certain laws, and particularly me as a lawyer, so I'm bound by the court orders that I have to follow. So I'm not in a position to be able to do that, but that's why the government is taking certain steps to try to reveal the underlying information.
Understood. Right. The developments today about Ghislaine Maxwell and whether she's going to testify to this congressional committee.
She knows, y'all. She know a lot. Virginia told her a lot. She knows a lot, man. She can't tell us.
Do you think can you imagine a day where she is talking to them? It's on the record. We can all watch it.
I'm not really sure that will ever happen. And I'm frankly not sure that she should be given a microphone for that. I mean, certainly this is somebody who has been charged with the government for perjury time and again.
See?
I deposed her multiple times
See?
where she committed perjury in those depositions.
Thank you.
One question after the next.
Mhm.
So why we would be holding our breath to hear from somebody who's a known perjurer, a known liar, it really is perplexing to me. She's not the person who would reveal all of that information. It's really, what you can see in the documents, what you can see in his electronic files. That's where you can find the answers.
And if we do end up in a situation where she's either granted immunity from further prosecution so she can speak to this committee, or, I don't know, President Trump pardons her so that she can then give her side in public on the record, would you challenge that? Is there a way you could prevent those things happening?
No.
There are certainly, a number of things from a legal perspective that we can try to do to challenge that. I mean, I've already written a letter to Todd Blanche about making sure that the interview that he was conducting last week would be recorded and under oath.
Okay.
We don't know if that happened, but there are certainly measures we can take on behalf of the survivors to try to ensure there's some justice in this, that there's some fairness. We're not seeing that yet, but we can continue to try.
And sorry to be so brief on this, but how will you remember Virginia Giuffre? Because, I mean, history's already kind of writing the story that she was a tragic victim. How would you like us to remember her?
As a survivor, as fearless, as somebody who took on some of the biggest monsters in the world and didn't back down. I mean, she truly is a testament to really that courage and that, relentless pursuit of something when it's the right thing to do. she will be missed tremendously.
Keep on moving, y'all. We got to keep on stacking this deck because Hillary, man. Hillary's not taking this lightly. She peed off. How dare you subpoena me? Are you crazy? I think she having a meltdown over here. Bill, what did you get us into messing around with that fool on that island?
Something called Section 230, which gave platforms on the internet immunity because they were thought to be just pass-throughs, that they shouldn't be judged for the content that is posted. Trust me. But we now know that that was an overly simple view, that if the platforms, whether it's Facebook or Twitter X or Instagram or TikTok, whatever they are.
A pause would read from tap time. If there's stop the clock. Yeah, that's it.
If they don't moderate and monitor the content, we lose total control. And it's not just the social and psychological effects, it's real harm.
Okay. All right, y'all. We got so many platforms that's talking about this, that's talking about her. The other day, we got people like Nancy Pelosi trying to quiet people when it comes down to the trading. Hillary's trying to throw us off with different things. What really happened on that Epstein Island, though, is what really everybody really want to know. They do want to know about the files. People do want to know the names and who had things to do with certain individuals, right? Because that's big news. But they also want to know what happened on that island. We got some more information directly from some news, some information sources. I want you guys to check this out real quick.
Before his death, sex offender Jeffrey Epstein allegedly used his own private island to host scores of underage girls. Many things about Epstein are still mired in secrecy, including the activities that took place on the island. So whatever happened to the billionaire's Caribbean home? In 1998, Jeffrey Epstein bought a 75-acre island called Little St. James for $7.95 million. On it, he built a sprawling estate that was mostly hidden from public view. The sizable complex contained a spa, a gym, and a swimming pool, among various other amenities.
It was Little St. Jeff's. That was his nickname for it.
Epstein also bought the island next door, Great St. James, in 2016. Known as Pedophile Island to local Virgin Islanders, horrifying stories about the island of Little St. James.
So people on the Virgin Islands already knew what was going on over there. You heard what they were calling it.
Continued to generate grim fascination. Local witnesses living on nearby St. Thomas reported that they regularly saw girls coming and going to the island, some of whom were young children. The long list of high-profile figures rumored to have visited Little St. James is also very extensive, featuring everyone from Bill Clinton to Stephen Hawking. Prince Andrew even admitted to visiting it during his infamous BBC interview.
Just for the record, you've been on his private plane.
Yes.
You've been to stay on his private island.
Yes. 2 days after Jeffrey Epstein was found dead in his prison cell, the FBI raided Little St. James as part of its investigation. The official Epstein task force hoped to find more information about his purported trafficking ring, but would not speak to the media about what they uncovered. FBI agents weren't the only visitors, though, and given the general fascination with the rumors surrounding the island, it's no surprise. In 2019, two YouTubers, Jeff Berwick and Luke Radowski, took matters into their own hands and convinced a local to drop them off by boat. The pair were able to explore for 30 minutes before escaping when they spotted other people on the island driving golf carts. Radkowski and Berwick were particularly interested in investigating a blue and white striped building on the island known as the Temple. The odd building has sparked a host of wild conspiracy theories online, with some people calling it a ritualistic abuse site. According to Insider, however, the most plausible theory is that it's a music room. Following the death of Jeffrey Epstein, a 3-year-long legal battle unfolded over his estate. It was ultimately decided in 2022 that the estate owed $105 million to the Virgin Islands to settle sex trafficking claims and would also have to sell his 2 islands. As part of the settlement deal, it was agreed that half the money from the sale of the 2 islands would go to the territorial government. Officials said this money would go to a government trust to fund programs for victims of sexual abuse. As of 2022, The estate had paid $121 million to 136 women abused by Epstein.
Keep on going, y'all. We got to keep this going. We got to keep going. I want you guys to get as much information as possible. Let's go. Because now we got one of these survivors that says the monster in Ghislaine Maxwell, the prison move is a slap in the face. We do have survivors that are saying exactly how they feel. We don't know about Ghislaine Maxwell. We don't know the crimes that she committed against people. All we can do is talk to the victims. And the victims right about now are telling us this lady does not need to be let out of prison. Check this out.
I'm extremely upset. I'm angry. I'm disgusted. Ghislaine Maxwell doesn't deserve any mercy. She doesn't deserve any grace. She deserves nothing. Why would anybody give somebody like her, who is a monster and a liar, a time of day to explain anything? She doesn't know anything, and if she did, she would have already had the opportunity to speak.
I've been speaking to one of the survivors of abuse by Jeffrey Epstein. Haley Robson was sexually assaulted by Epstein in the 2000s when she was just 16 years old. I asked her how she first came into contact with the convicted paedophile financier.
A friend from high school basically recruited me, got my phone number. We talked later on, maybe a week or two later. I picked her up, and then I picked up a 20-year-old male named Tony Figueroa. And the three of us in the car ride, they told me what to expect and basically to lie about my age and that it would just be a massage. And then obviously when I got to his house, that's not what happened. It wasn't just a massage.
And you were just 16 at the time?
Correct.
And what had happened to you before that? Tell me about your childhood and growing up before that moment when you met Jeffrey Epstein.
I had a pretty decent childhood, and then we ended up moving from Miami to West Palm, and it was such like a shock for me. It was such a big move. I started having some, issues in school, and when I was 15, I was raped. That was my first sexual experience with a man. I was raped, and then following that, a year later is when I met Jeffrey. I didn't understand that Jeffrey was abusing me. I didn't understand what was happening to me. Honestly, if I could be quite frank, when I go back and I read depositions, it's really disheartening how much I actually tried to protect this man, because I really truly thought that he was a friend. I really truly thought that he was looking out for me. I mean, we had deep conversations about my rape. We had conversations about my family. We had conversations about my health. I thought we were friends. We had a rapport, and that he was going to help me. And in fact, he wasn't helping me. He was destroying me.
Was there a moment of realization for you then when you realized that you had been a victim of Jeffrey Epstein?
I had started seeing Randy Kogan, which is my therapist. And I think it wasn't until a couple years after being with her that I remember one session expressing to her, I don't know what it means to be sexually abused. I don't know what the difference is between being molested, sexually assaulted, raped, or abused. Like, what does any of this mean? Rape is very cut dry. But I didn't understand what it meant to be sexually abused or what it meant to be like molested at 16, because when you hear the word molested, you usually categorize it with like a 4-year-old or somebody who's much younger. So it really hit when I started seeing Randy, and she was explaining things, and we were talking about things that I was able to get a more clear image of what was truly happening and what I had been through.
If it's okay.
So basically they found people that were already hurt them further by grooming them and doing even more to them. You guys, do y'all want to keep on seeing the rest of this interview? We got about 3 more minutes to go. If you do your boy a favor. Number 1, we want to do is double tap that screen and get those likes up. Number 2, we want to get the thumbs up going. If you guys would like to see the remaining of this interview right here, all you got to do is put a thumbs up, because we can move forward. I actually want to see the rest of it, so it's up to y'all. Thumbs up if you want to see the rest of it. It's only a couple more minutes. Thumbs down if you don't. Let me know what you guys want to do. Let's go ahead and get some responses here. Thumbs up if you want to see it. Thumbs down if y'all want to move forward, because I got more. It's a lot. I only see 1 thumbs up so far. I see 2. All right, we got some more thumbs up coming. We got a lot of thumbs up coming. I figured you guys gonna want to see this. Okay, what else y'all got? Okay, the orange man is the, okay, let's just keep on playing it. I could have played the rest of it.
Okay, Hedy, just so we can understand, and I really appreciate you being so open and honest about this. What was it that was happening to you when you were with Jeffrey Epstein that you were explaining then to your therapist?
It was the inappropriate touching. It was the forcing me to watch him touch himself. It was forcing me to do things to him so he can get sexual gratification. The scariest part in all of this as an adult is looking back at that 16-year-old girl that was in the room alone with him, realizing this man is going to be sexually gratified whether I like it or not. So either I'm going to have to be a willing participant or God knows what's going to be the next step. And because I had already come off being raped, which was my first experience, I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared for another one. I wasn't prepared for that.
How do you feel as one of his victims seeing Ghislaine Maxwell moved to a low security, some might say comfortable, a cushy
Watch her face.
prison in the US, that she's talking to the justice system, the Trump administration, even speculation she might be pardoned? How does that make you feel?
Obviously not really good. Sorry. I'm extremely upset. I'm angry. I'm disgusted. To be denied your innocence, denied your justice, and then to have your healing taken away from you without any consent, it really feels like a part of me is dying inside.
Terrible.
Ghislaine Maxwell doesn't deserve any mercy. She doesn't deserve any grace. She deserves nothing. To be clear, Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison for her counts of child exploitation and trafficking. Why would anybody give somebody like her, who is a monster and a liar, a time of day to explain anything? She doesn't know anything, and if she did, she would have already had the opportunity to speak. That opportunity has passed. The fact that there is all this talk about her wanting to come forward, no, absolutely not, is a slap in the face to all of us.
What would you like to see happen now? Is there something that you would like to see made public? Or would you like this to go back in the box, stop talking about it, stop waking over it, leave Ghislaine Maxwell in jail, and then you can go back to the life that you said that you were rebuilding, and bluntly, you can stop having these sorts of conversations with people like me?
100%. I mean, I would really, for once, like to stop talking about a non-existent list. I would like to start talking about the women that have sacrificed and poured their blood, sweat, and tears to get the little bit of justice. I would like the conversations to stop revolving around a billionaire pedophile, not a billionaire financier. Let's call him what he is.
Thank you.
And I would like to stop having those conversations. I would like everyone to stop glorifying this monster and giving him the time of day. All you're doing is sensationalizing him, and it doesn't need to happen anymore. We got our justice, the little piece that we have. I don't care who killed Jeffrey. I don't care how he died. He's dead, which means he can never hurt another girl again. We need to put an end to this conversation, and we need to allow the survivors to move on and finally live a life out in peace, what's left of our life.
Thank you so much.
She dealt directly with that man. She knew what's going on. I think the victims need to determine what happens moving forward, because we don't know. We wasn't there. They were. Now look at where Ghislaine is staying at. A cushy, nice, and low security prison right now. Yeah, cushy, nice, and low security. This is called Bryan, the federal prison / Club Fed, where you see them jogging. The weather's nice, very low minimum security. They're just walking around, which means that she had to get a waiver. I know about this now, did the homework. Whoever put in for her to go here, remember, she's the 20 years sentence. She's not minimum, not about to get out of jail. She just got sentenced. Somebody like that goes into maximum security, as well as with the charges that she has. So what had to happen in order for her to be able to be moved to Bryan was special paperwork for her to be moved here. One thing I can say is this: if it's her just moving here doing the 20 years, okay, cool. But if it's this to wean her out, I don't think that that's a good idea, because I keep on hearing the victims. I keep on hearing the preceding people. This is just too comfortable for her as well. I don't even think that she deserved this, to be honest with you guys. They jogging all around, hanging out. Look like a little apartment complex or something. Look at the bars. That's not bars. Look at that. So yeah, that's why many people are looking at it like she's getting too much. She's getting too much good treatment, especially for what she's been charged with. You guys, 20 years. Do you really think that she's gonna do 20 years in there? They're saying that she might even be able to escape because it's such less. Not even that much security up in there. We're gonna keep on moving forward because we got more. What really happened on this island? We got to break it all down. We got more. The island held a lot of answers to a lot of questions, and we're gonna get into this just to make sure that we got everything out. This is a 60-minute clip right here. You guys can actually look at this afterward or moving forward. This comes from 60 Minutes Australia. What really happened on Jeffrey Epstein's private island? We're only going to play a few minutes of it.
Definitely received substantial evidence that he was involved in trafficking young women and children to the Virgin Islands for a very long period of time through our airport, through his private jet. And then he would, by helicopter or sometimes boat, would then transport them over to Little St. James. And that's where he has his complex where he lives, which is his official residence as well. And that these young girls and women were subject to sexual assault, sexual exploitation through coercion, false imprisonment, where the passports at some points were taken away. The actions were just reprehensible. And it was quite a number of women, and we found through our investigation that at least up to 2018 that continued.
So what your investigation is showing is the broad scope of Jeffrey Epstein's nefarious activities, that it just kept going.
Based on the evidence that we found thus far. Let me make something very clear. Jeffrey Epstein was very good at protecting himself and being secret. The secrecy he was very good at that. And because of his wealth, his power, he was able to do that and secure that. So when you think about it, he owns a private island. That's an island over a mile away from St. Thomas, the main island. And it's out there and it's isolated. He purchases that, right? Then he owns the jet that flew in to the airport. It's under a name of one of the front companies that actually has been named in our complaint, but it's him. He's the member of that LLC. And he owns the helicopter and the boats that took or transported him and the women and children over to the island.
That's why Ghislaine don't need to come home. She orchestrated a lot of that, introducing all of these women to this PDF aisle. That's what she did. That's exactly what she did. So I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't think it was right at all. We're gonna go on over to Las Vegas right now, where this police sergeant was sentenced to prison for phony arrests and pornography. Oh man, it just gets crazy, you guys. Vegas, anybody from Vegas? Step to the front of the stage, please.
Video doing things. We're on video doing things that clearly are, to be kind, inappropriate and illegal.
Once a leader at the Las Vegas Metro Police Department, today, though, a disgraced sergeant taken away in handcuffs.
Former Sergeant Kenan Menon learning his fate after a contentious court battle involving child sex abuse material, unlawful arrests, and more. Thank you for joining us here at 6 o'clock. I'm David Charles.
I'm Denise Valdez. The 8 News Now investigator is first to report from Menon's sentencing today. And Vanessa Murphy was there and has much more on the pretty unusual moments that unfolded.
Kevin Menon, once a decorated Metro Police sergeant, now heading to prison for 4 to 10 years for illegal arrests on the Las Vegas Strip and child sex crimes. His criminal cases have had many twists and turns. Menon claiming his fellow officers set him up. Menon saying he's accepting responsibility through a plea deal, but not admitting to committing the crimes in court. And 2 women identified as victims insisting they are not victims.
I take responsibility for these allegations. For any harm I've done, I beg for forgiveness.
Disgraced Las Vegas Metro Police Sergeant Kevin Menon breaks his silence moments before being taken away in handcuffs Monday. His wife and sister-in-law in tears.
This experience has been a deeply personal living nightmare. I am not a victim of my husband. I am a victim of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department.
In his most recent case, Metro Police say Menon installed cameras in his private bathroom to watch both women use the restroom. That's after his electronic devices like his laptops were taken away. For his second case, police say they found numerous images of child sexual abuse material. And it all started with the first case, where he's accused of leading a team of officers on the Las Vegas Strip, creating fake scenarios to target mainly Black men and arrest them. Prosecutors say Menon abused his power even against a fellow officer he shoved. Menon claiming he tried to report racism within the department and was retaliated against. Clark County District Court Judge Ron Israel says the evidence shows otherwise. Also expressing frustration with Menon's lack of remorse and disgust at the images detectives found.
It creates a product that causes, in this case, people in Russia to take horrific advantage of children.
Metro telling the 8 News Now investigators Menon separated from the department in June. Monday marks the conclusion of 3 contentious court battles. We spoke with attorneys from both sides.
This was a very difficult case to negotiate. It made no sense to negotiate just one of the 3 cases. We wanted a global resolution.
Are 4 to 10 years enough?
I was trying to strike a balance. On one level, I think some people could look at it and go, no, that's not enough.
It's not.
Right? And that's a fair criticism. But at the end of the day, when I've ensured that he has pled to every single type of crime he committed in all 3 of his cases, and he's stipulated to prison time, he is becoming a registered sex offender, which he'll never be able to shed. He'll wear that label for the rest of his life.
Yeah, but we don't know how many people he probably hurt, how many children he probably hurt. We don't know about that. So we need to get the layers back of that onion, because 4 to 10 years, that means he's gonna get out no matter what in 10 years. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys, because we always have good mothers that we know that love to protect their children. Sometimes if you're in a rough time, you might be homeless, you might be out there, but you know what? A good mother is gonna always make sure that her babies are safe, no matter what the case is, y'all. I want you guys to see this right here, because not only are human beings good mothers, but animals are too. Cookies. Let's get after this commercial right here. I want you guys to see this right here.
Jar.
They looked at me for a second, and I think they realized, oh crap, that is not our mom. I first spotted her in the back of the house. She just kept barking. There was an open door on the side. Looked up.
So what happened was the mom was pregnant with puppies, pity puppies. She found a home to raise her babies in, and they know only that home. When they found somebody there, they're like, what are you doing here? Let's run, guys. Don't they look cute? Check this out with all these blues.
Up, and at the top of the
I would have
steps,
took them
there
all.
were puppies.
I wonder if we should back off. I'm afraid they're gonna fall.
At this point, guessing the puppies were about 8 to 10 weeks old. There was no way that just nursing on mom was going to be enough for these puppies.
Oh, he hides.
There were so many hiding places, we were not 100% sure that we had all the puppies. The thought of leaving any puppies behind.
Did you think you were gonna get by without being caught?
I just can't do that.
Oh my gosh, look at that face.
The mom is in the woods right back here. She's been barking at me and then backing up.
I set up a camera in the house and put out some food. So I knew that if there were any puppies left, mom would still be there to keep them safe and also feed them. That puppy would eventually show up on camera. when we were absolutely certain and we didn't see any other puppies on camera at all, so we decided we need to just go back and go ahead and trap Mom. Got your babies.
Good girl. She a good baby. She a good mother.
So you don't have to have no more babies. Some of them already went to foster homes. Yeah, maybe you'll get a foster home. What do you think?
I'm sorry, y'all, but I love this.
The puppies were thriving in foster homes.
Look at that. Oh, look at those faces.
Got Mama out also into a foster home within about 24 hours, and she just absolutely was perfection.
That's right, y'all. We support fostering pit bulls, all sorts of animals. We love animals over here. Hopefully one day your boy's going to have a rescue, because that's what I want to wind up doing. I want to retire. I want to get my house. I want to have a rescue on the side, and I want to save dogs and animals for the rest of my days. I'm going to let my beard get real long with gray hair and everything like that. Y'all going to be like, Bugatti's the dog man. Walking around with the white streaks in my hair, I don't care. Just give me the dogs and I'm happy, y'all. I don't know about y'all, but I really love myself some dogs, especially pit bulls. Y'all trying to make some money, 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 money. Hit that link in the description, fill out one of those surveys, and you could make up to, what is it, $850 worth of surveys in there today? Also, I know you got a business, mobile barber, detailer, you might be you might do lawn care, whatever you do, send us here at Our Bottom Line your promotions in a 1080 by 1080 in a file, you guys. That's the size that it has to be in order to go up in the post area. We want to help you guys promote your business as well. Do that. Come on now. And also send it to bridgethisllc@gmail.com. bridgethisllc@gmail.com. I'm going to get your email. I'm going to put it up in the post notification area, and hopefully more than 40,000 people are going to see your business, and you might get some business. This would be a good time to hit that like button. Everybody that liked the show, come on now, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Become a member. Get gloved up. Y'all see those gloves on there? All of those gloves, that's people that represent on the show, and those are members right there. If y'all like the show, go ahead and show some love and become a member. Double tap that screen and hit that like button. Y'all know what's going on next, right? We got that Show Your Talent search. We're working on getting Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn lined up right now because we want to see your talent, Bed-Stuy. We want to know if you can sing, if you can rap, if you can do a flip, if you can do a wheelie, whatever you can do in Brooklyn. I want to know because we want to give you, boom, $250 because we're doing the talent search for all 5 boroughs of New York. Once we're done, we're going to bring everybody together that can possibly win. That's right. You guys see it. $1,000. In order to be a part of the talent show, I need you guys to go on over to drinkbigdrip.com. That's right, www. Same way I'm saying it, drinkbigdrip.com. 2 G's, 2 P's, and sign up and make sure that you guys join the mailing list and you guys will be a part of the Show Your Talent search where you could possibly win $250, then the grand prize of $1,000. With that being said, you guys, I hope y'all have a fantastic day. Make sure that y'all drink some water. Let me get this dude out of here so he can't come back tomorrow. He think it's a game. Where you at, Corbin? Yeah, let me get Corbin up out of here because he think it's a game. Corbin, you think it's a game? I'm about to get you up out of here before I even close the show. I'm going to make sure you up out of here. That's how professional we are. Boom! Get the hell up out of here. We don't play that. We like to smile. We like to have a fantastic day. Today, y'all know what we're going to do, right? And I want y'all to follow after me right now. Let's go. On the count of 3, I want you to do what I do. Don't type it. Facially, copy me right now. Copy what I do. Are you ready? On the count of 1, 2, 3, smile. Let me see that smile, y'all. Not in the emoji. I want you to physically do it. Just smile. Don't it make you feel good? No matter what. That's right, you guys. You can make yourself feel better at any time. You are in control of your life. Problems present opportunities. Why? Because there's a solution. And as long as God gives us another day to keep on moving forward, We got another day to bang at that nail and get it right. It's your boy Boogotti NYC, and like I always tell you, y'all could have went anywhere, but the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. That's right, Liberty and Justice, I appreciate you. Casey, I appreciate you. VIP Auction Group, I'm so glad that you came here today. Ain't hear from you in a while. And with that being said, until tomorrow, Thursday, y'all know how we do it. Y'all could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me on this Wednesday, that's right, you guys. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's go. Get 'em. Peace. One.